drivers tonight have a date with destiny. They will be our field for the Pizza Hut X Series Season 2 Chase for the Championship. Good evening, everybody, and welcome here as we get set for our 20th race of the season, our final regular season race of the Pizza Hut X Series. After tonight, 12 drivers will embark on a journey to try and become Pizza Hut X Series champion. And if Benny Watson cannot find victory lane tonight, we will be guaranteed a brand new champion in this series. We've got a number of drivers coming into this race that are already locked into the chase for the championship, regardless of what happens here tonight. We'll try and document that for you in just a moment. But very important of who's starting on the pole position tonight, that is Kyle Lynch, who won the first race of the season at Daytona. Now, why is this important? Because Kyle Lynch comes into this race 35th in the point standings. If he can go pole to win tonight with his second win of the season and get his way into the top 30 in points, he's automatically got himself a ticket into the chase for the championship. So good starting track position tonight for our Daytona race winner, but he's got to capitalize tonight. He cannot settle for anything less than a second trip to victory lane. Take a look up at the rest of our top 5. Look at our top 6. You got Tony Green, Nicholas Romero, Wade Brummer, Carson Gum, and Julio Cesar. You can even go back as far as 7th place, John Gilbert. All these drivers still looking for their first win of the season, and their win, if they can get it, could put them in the chase for the championship. The drivers coming into this race that are locked into the chase regardless of what happens. We will see Ace Garcia in the chase, as well as James Qualls, Elijah Gilbert, Joshua Osborne, those 4 getting in due to having 2 wins this season. That leaves 8 slots open. Jesse Turner is in. Eli Bright is in. Cole Deaver is in. Jordan Lopez is in. James Shelley is in. Christian Merritt Jr. is in. Charlie Buxton is in. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Right now, Daniel Voiles holds the final slot. He is 16th in the point standings. He needs a good run tonight, and he needs no drivers ahead of him in the point standings to go to victory lane this evening. He also needs Andra Baranskis not to pick up a second win here tonight, or else she automatically catapults up into that final slot, and Voiles is out. We're going to get the command here, and we will get them rolling off. Now, how about those drivers that have an opportunity to be able to foil the plans of Voiles? Yes, I played a little pun on words there. Drivers that could go to victory lane and automatically take that spot would include Benny Watson, P.J. Williams, Nicholas Romero, who we're seeing roll off from the 3rd position here tonight. Also, Carson Gum, who we see rolling off from the 5th position. Other drivers would also include Matt McIntyre, who's been on a bit of a run as of late, and then a couple of drivers that are near Daniel Voiles in the point standings that could jump up over him with a win tonight, up ahead of him in the point standings, and those drivers include Tony Green, Kyle Thomas, Jacob Rose, Noah Poncer, and Jonathan Zorlin. Those drivers are all still in the hunt for a spot in the chase for the championship. It's going to come down to the wire for that final slot. The only other driver behind Daniel Voiles in the point standings that's in the top 30 in points with a win is Andra Baranskis. So Baranskis is the only driver, and it looks like we got somebody with an issue there. It looks like that might have been the 6 of James Richardson. He's trying to get down to the inside line. James Qualls not willing to let him get there. And now he gets down there. Troubles for the 6 car at the start. Richardson came into this race outside the top 30 in the point standings anyway, so he wasn't really in line for an opportunity of getting into the chase. But here we go. Green flag is out. We are underway here at Kentucky. 41 laps of racing. It's getting split 15, 15, and 11 here tonight for our stages. And those stage points could be huge as well. Saw them going 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide for a time in last night's Hershey's Cup Series non-charter race here in Kentucky, and they're already 3 wide for the 2nd position. Carson Gum on the bottom, Romero in the middle, Tony Green way up top. Looks like James Richardson will return back to the racetrack. The one driver that's going to get a lot of TV time during the course of this race is going to be that 26 of Daniel Voiles, our winner from Richmond, because he comes in the critical position right now. Think about drivers that I mentioned that are locked in, like Qualls, Garcia, Lopez, Eli Bright, Jesse Turner. They can just get up here, race, try and get another win to be able to continue their bonus points, get their bonus points towards the chase for the championship, because right now it would be Gilbert, Qualls, Garcia, and Osborne who would all be tied for the number 1 seed heading into our first race of the chase at Chicagoland, as Tony Green will go for the race lead. We'll also keep tabs on the defending champion of this series, Benny Watson, see if he can make his way up through the field and get up here towards the front. He pretty much needs a trip to victory lane tonight to be able to have an opportunity of defending his Pizza Hut X Series championship title. And he qualified quite a ways back in the field, but it looks like he's steadily working his way up. He's following in the tire tracks of the 16 of James Shelley there mid-pack, and Shelley started this race from the 42nd position. So both Shelley and Watson making up some ground right now. Backmarker Motorsports already with one driver locked into the chase, that being Elijah Gilbert with his 2 wins. Benny Watson and Seth Cole still looking for their first wins here of Season 2. Meanwhile, it's a 2-car breakaway a bit at the front of the field. Tony Green and Carson Gum, both of whom could find themselves in the chase with a trip to victory lane, but right now, maybe not wanting to force the issue, trying to keep themselves up ahead. And I think in this race now, we didn't see it in the Hershey's Cup Series non-charter race here last night, but I think with 41 laps on tap tonight, I think we're looking at a fuel strategy race. I think these drivers will have to make pit stops, whether it be under caution or under green flag here tonight. Kyle Lynch now has reeled the top 2 back in. James Qualls there in 4th, and he's bringing a couple of drivers looking for their first win of the season, Julio Cesar and John Gilbert. Cesar comes into this race. Where is he? He's 38th in points, and John Gilbert comes in 33rd in the points. So, I mean, for both of them, I'm not even sure a win for Julio Cesar would get him into the top 30 in the points. It'd be really close for Gilbert, and yet he would have to get himself up ahead of Daniel Voiles in the point standings. The tough break for a lot of the drivers that are, up here at the front that are running poorly in the points is even if they went to victory lane, Voiles comes into this race 16th overall in the standings. So really, you have to be in the top maybe 25 to even have a mathematical shot with a win of getting into the chase for the championship, getting that final spot away from Daniel Voiles to get into the Pizza Hut X Series chase. Let's jump back while Tony Green's out in front, see if we can find that 26 of Daniel Voiles. There he is. He's now down the inside line, trying to work his way up towards the front, at least towards the top 10. Battling with our winner last time out at Hillside, the 9 of Ace Garcia, picking up his 2nd win of the season and an automatic ticket into the chase for the championship. Voiles last time by was scored in the 19th position. Some drivers, they've actually lost the field. One of them is Charlie Buxton. Now Buxton comes into this race 13th in points, and he was one of those drivers that's theoretically locked in. If you look at it right now, he came into this race only 13 points ahead of Daniel Voiles, so with where Voiles is running, that now shoves Charlie Buxton down into the danger zone slot and puts Voiles in the safe zone. Joshua Osborne, 2-time winner this season, doesn't matter where he finishes tonight, he's going to make the chase for the championship. He's well ahead. All the drivers that have 2 wins this season are well ahead of that 30th position in the point standings, so no driver with 2 wins this season is going to fall outside the top 30 in the standings. There's Jesse Turner. He's the points leader coming to this race, 26 points in hand over 2nd place. No way mathematically he can fall outside of the top 30 in the points, so he's in good shape. Christian Merrick Jr., 11th in the point standings. He is, well, he's safe, but he's not terribly safe because the gap between him and Daniel Voiles was a mere 26 points coming into this race. No, it was 24 points coming into this race. So he's kind of actually got to step it up, get himself a little bit closer up towards the front of the field to keep his gap between himself and Voiles. The good news for Merrick Jr., though, is Charlie Buxton's running back further than he is. So right now, Buxton's in the danger zone and Merrick Jr.'s on borderline. Daniel Voiles doing a pretty good job of trying to keep himself away from that danger zone. As we had a battle for the lead, and it has now turned the race lead over to the number 17 Fastenal Ford out of Roush Fenway Racing of Jonathan Zorlin. Now we mentioned that Zorlin, if he can get a good enough run tonight with a win, his first win of the season, he would have an opportunity mathematically to maybe get into the chase for the championship. And keep in mind, too, we're coming around here in just a moment to completing this first stage, and if Zorlin gets 10 valuable bonus points for winning the stage, that makes his chances even greater of being able to get mathematically up there and having a win count towards a spot in the chase for the championship. Same for Pichu London there in the 90, a number of other drivers up here, like Colby Jackson, like Kyle Lynch. Tony Green there in the 85. Right now, as a matter of fact, our top 5 is completely comprised of drivers who are looking still for their first win of the season. And look who's up to 6th. Started dead last. He's up now in the 6th position, looking for 5th. James Shelley in the 16. Shelley is locked into the chase for the championship. He came into this race 9th in the point standings. And looking for his 2nd win of the year there in that Roush Fenway Ford. You know, I was actually... just an interesting side note is we got a battle for the lead. Pichu London now to the bottom of Jonathan Zorlin, and this is important because this is coming to the completion of lap 15, and Zorlin will get the 10 bonus points for the completion of the first stage. London will have to settle for 2nd, and then you see the rest of the drivers that are going to get bonus points here for this stage. A number of them drivers trying to get into the chase for the championship, but you know, I look back at last season of the Pizza Hut X Series compared to this season of rides that couldn't muster any luck at all last year, finding a little bit of luck here this season. You think back to the 11 team when Nick Gunther drove it back in season 1. Couldn't find victory lane for nothing. Was consistent on a number of races, but just couldn't get the car in victory lane. And then it was Stuart Gratton able to put the car in victory lane earlier on this season at Bristol Dirt. The 16 of James Shelley was the car that put me in mind for this because Cody Hagan took over the 16 car back in season 1. Finished, if I remember correctly, dead last in the point standings. Shelley, though, this season, a trip to victory lane. That 16 is going to be in the chase for the championship. You look at some other drivers as well of rides that really did not have good luck last season. Cole Deaver found victory lane here this season with the 07 car. And last season it was Caitlin Sang. Most we ever said out of her was when she finished runner-up in a photo finish at the season opening at Daytona to Matthew Dallio. But never really was much of anything of note, and now that 07 car is going to be in the chase for the championship. A lot of rides that really we never talked about really in a favorable light last season, this season, having an opportunity at a championship. Now the important thing for Jonathan Zorlin, not only the fact that he got those stage points right there, but the fact that Daniel Voiles and Charlie Buxton did not get those stage points. That is extremely helpful for him because you look at the gap between Zorlin and Voiles coming into this race, it was 14 points. The gap between Zorlin and Buxton was a total of 27 points. So if you theoretically think about that in a light, it's only 4 points now separation between Zorlin and Voiles, and about, 8 points? No. 18 points between Zorlin and Buxton. It's amazing how those stage points come into play. And we will see those stage points come into play next week at our regular season finale for the Hershey's Cup Series Charter Series as well, when they go to the high banks of the restrictor plate track of M&M Super Speedway. Daniel Voiles right now, he's not up there at the front, but he is currently just outside the top 10, currently running in the 11th position, actually battling with Matt McIntyre for that spot right now. This is where he needs to be to have that win count towards the spot. This is a good position for him right now, especially with the fact that he is running also ahead of the 7 of Charlie Buxton. Let's see if Buxton's been able to come back at all. No, he is, wow, Buxton is still way back here. I think Buxton is 41st as the battle for the lead is on between Pichu London and Jonathan Zorlin. Which line's going to win out, inside or outside? Zorlin's still hanging tough. Colby Jackson now moves into 3rd, bypassing Tony Green, and London will clear Zorlin for the top position. Zorlin, crossover down the back straightaway, though. He's going to try and get the lead back into 3. Tony Green putting the crossover as well on Colby Jackson. So, just like that, Zorlin back to the point. Tony Green, however, didn't make quite as good on his crossover move, and London going to drive it back to the bottom again. Boy, London having to lift a little bit earlier. Zorlin able to mash the throttle a lot longer using that middle groove through 1 and 2. And that's going to cost Pichu London. He now falls into the clutches of Colby Jackson. But look at some of these other drivers up here. You can't count them out. You got Tony Green right there. Tony Green is within striking distance of both Daniel Voiles and Charlie Buxton. He also got stage points after that first stage. It looks like he's en route to getting stage points here in the second stage. You've also got Carson Gum, who's also been getting stage points, and he came into this race ahead of both Charlie Buxton and Daniel Voiles. So a trip to victory lane would basically be an automatic ticket into victory lane for the ride out of JD Motorsports, Carson Gum. And he's right up there in that 7th spot. We got 7 drivers breaking away here at the front of the field. Now, right now, I would say that theoretically, the only 3 drivers of the top 7 that have an opportunity to grab a chase spot would be Zorlin, Tony Green, and Carson Gum. The reason being, Colby Jackson coming into this race is mired down in the point standings. He is all the way down, currently situated in 30th in the point standings. Kyle Lynch is outside the top 30 in points in 35th. And Pichu London coming into this race is also mired down in the point standings in 25th place. They kind of need a little bit of luck plus stage points on their side to be able to have themselves in the conversation for a chase spot. So right now, it looks like it'd be between Zorlin, Gum, and Green. But again, all 3 of them would still have to find victory lane for this to even happen. But this is a good start for Jonathan Zorlin and company. They're going to put Charlie Buxton off the lead lap. So Buxton hanging on a wing and a prayer, hoping one of the 3 drivers I mentioned doesn't find victory lane tonight, or else his chase hopes could be gone. Zorlin checking out. Think back to Jonathan Zorlin almost going to victory lane at Richmond. And there's Buxton coming to pit road. I don't know if that's a scheduled stop or not. If it is, that means we may be getting ready for the cycle of green flag pit stops to begin. And this could be the money stop that could get someone a chase position. Boy, that lap car of Buxton really split up the top 7 now as well. Let's see if anybody here is going to come to pit road. Is it time for the green flag pit stops to begin? And here come a couple of them. Tony Green, Kyle Lynch, they are in. And this was at the completion of lap 30. Oh no, we're on lap 30. Completion of lap 30 is next time by. Oh, this could be very important because that just moved Daniel Voiles up into the top 10. That would give him some stage points. Are they going to risk coming to pit road, or are they going to stay out one more lap and try and get the stage points? Zorlin is in. Colby Jackson says, forget it, I'm going to try and win this stage. Or run out of fuel trying, and he will win the stage, the second stage. So Zorlin is in. Jackson stayed out, and I think he may have been the only one. Yes, he was. He was the only one who stayed out. Everybody else coming to pit road. Whoa, did we have an incident there on pit road? That looked... Oh, yeah, we did. Oh, someone's turned around. That's Quentin Moore. Spun around there on the pit lane. He's trying to get turned back around. They won't let him. Little contact there for Jesse Turner. And there you see the 33, top of your screen. He's now heading the pit lane. So now we got to find the driver that came to pit road when they were the leaders. Oh my goodness, this could be close. Zorlin, London, Shelley, all close together coming off the pit lane. They will all come out almost nose to tail. Now the question being, one of the first cars that hit pit road were Kyle Lynch and Tony Green. Where do they come out in relation to the 17 car? There's Charlie Buxton. And, oh wow, they're way back there. That's not even Kyle Lynch. That's Matthew Dallio and Tony Green. Jacob Rose may end up reaping some good positions after that. I think he may be up inside the top 6. Daniel Voiles, extended stay on pit road. I wonder if he was one of the drivers that hit Kyle Lynch. And that is a big break potentially for Charlie Buxton. And here comes the 33. Wow, the strategy going to work for Colby Jackson, at least for the moment. He's going to come out still as the race leader. But here comes Jonathan Zorlin in the 17. Along with the lap car of Charlie Buxton. And now things are going to get interesting up here at the front. And that could bring Pichu London and James Shelley back here into the conversation. But now, remember, we were talking about Carson Gunn, we were talking about Tony Green. All of a sudden, they're kind of out of the picture. Now it's all Jonathan Zorlin up here at the front. But again, he's got to win the race in order to make the chase for the championship. Colby Jackson, he wants to pick up a win. So does Shelley. So does London. They're not going to let Jonathan Zorlin have it. He's going to have to earn it. Zorlin will move by Buxton. Now Colby Jackson's got to get by the lap machine, who is up to speed. James Shelley closing in. Pichu London trying to do the same. Here comes Colby Jackson to the inside for the lead on Jonathan Zorlin out of 3 and 4. At the line, 7 laps to go. Jackson now to the point. Zorlin drifts back to second. Lap car behind him in Buxton. And then third place, James Shelley. Jackson just looking for a win. Don't know if it would be enough to get him into the chase, but still a trip to victory lane nonetheless. Zorlin wants to win to get into the chase, and Shelley just wants another win to get bonus points for when the chase standings are reset, because he's already locked in. Does Zorlin have anything for Colby Jackson? We talked about the money stop. Well, Jackson decided to risk it. He stayed out 1 extra lap than everybody else. Came to pit road on what was almost relatively a very clean pit road and got out ahead of the race leader. That was potentially the money stop that could win him this race, but it ain't over yet. 5 laps to go here tonight at Kentucky, and the top 3 are all separated by less than a second. Oh, Charlie Buxton trying to be the Achilles heel here. He realizes that if Zorlin goes to victory lane, that Buxton could potentially be out of the chase. And he's not going to let Jonathan Zorlin get up there to the back bumper of that 33. Playing defense to keep his chase hopes alive is that Tax Slayer Chevrolet. James Shelley there in the 16 is a teammate to Jonathan Zorlin. Would he be willing to help Jonathan Zorlin get up there to Colby Jackson? Daniel Voiles coming back onto the racetrack, several laps down after having to get his Chevrolet repaired due to contact on pit road with Quentin Moore, and this could get interesting depending on where they encounter this 26 car. Oh, Voiles pinching the 33 down, but Jackson's going to get by. Zorlin now has to get by the 26 as well. And he's not going to clear him. He's not going to get to his inside, at least here on the back straightaway. Now he'll try going into 3. And James Shelley right there with him. Would Shelley be willing to help his teammate get up there to battle for the win, or will he try going for the second position himself? 2 laps to go here at Kentucky. More traffic ahead. That's Nick Johnson. I don't know if they'll encounter him before this race is over. Battle for second between teammates. Shelley on the back bumper of Zorlin. Battle going on back there for fourth between William Brock, James Qualls, Tony Green, but it doesn't really matter. It's not in the conversation of the battle for the win. Here comes Shelley. He gets a run to the inside of his teammate for the second position. No honor among teammates. They're going to battle it out for second, and that may hand this race win over to the 33 of Colby Jackson. And now Voiles says, forget both of you. He's going to bypass both Shelley and Zorlin. He's on fresher tires than they are. Through 3 and 4. It may not count towards a chase spot, but it's certainly going to help this team in what's been a dismal season. First win of his career comes here tonight at Kentucky for Colby Jackson. And with Jackson winning, a driver that came into this race 30th in the points and more than a total of 60 points back from Daniel Voiles in the point standings, I believe Voiles and Buxton, despite both finishing off the lead lap, their wins are still going to be enough to get them the final 2 slots in this season's chase for the championship. Wow. I thought maybe the Roush Fenway teammates would work together, but no siree. Shelley was going for the win, Zorlin was going for the win, and they were going to move each other out of the way in their goal to do it. Standings are official. Now, the one thing I need to look at here really closely is what was the gap between Andre Baranskis and Daniel Voiles coming into this race. It was a total of 30 points. Now, Voiles managed to get, I think it was 2 points in one of our stages due to the fact of those green flag pit stops. So basically, Baranskis would have had to have finished, I believe, a total of 33 spots ahead of Daniel Voiles, which is impossible for her to do with finishing in the 11th position. She would have needed Voiles to finish 44th in that case, and Voiles finishes dead last in 42nd. I think it was those stage points that Voiles managed to get that maybe was going to be the difference maker between Voiles making the chase and not making the chase. But Colby Jackson will pick up the win here tonight. That is the second win of the season for the Richard Childress Racing Team, but a bittersweet one, as both of the winners this season for Richard Childress Racing, it looks like, will not be battling in the chase for the championship. If my calculations are correct, the top 12 drivers that have now made it into the chase for the championship for this season are as follows: Ace Garcia, James Qualls, Elijah Gilbert, Joshua Osborne, Jesse Turner, Eli Bright, Cole Deaver, Jordan Lopez, James Shelley, Christian Merrick Jr., Charlie Buxton, and Daniel Voiles. I believe those are officially the 12 drivers that will battle for the championship. I could be wrong. There could be something mathematically incorrect with my calculations. There could be an opportunity that Baranskis maybe did get her way into the chase and Voiles is out. But we're going to have to wait for the official scoring in order to find out. Because again, like I said, I can't really calculate the stage points and keep an eye on the action all at the same time. So maybe there was a chance Baranskis also got stage points in stage 2. I can't remember back if that was the case or not. But regardless, it's probably going to be really, really close for that final chase position between Baranskis and Voiles. We'll find out which one of those two gets that final spot. The other 11 spots, I am absolutely certain they are confirmed and locked in. The question mark is Voiles and Baranskis, but I'm pretty certain that the points advantage would go to Daniel Voiles getting that final 12th position. So we've basically now officially got our chase field set for this season's Pizza Hut X Series Chase for the Championship. Next week, we're going to find out who the 16 drivers officially will be that will battle for the Hershey's Cup Series Chase for the Championship, and we get it done at a wildcard track in M&M's Super Speedway. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's race. Congratulations to the 12 drivers that made it into this season's Chase for the Championship. We are guaranteed a new Pizza Hut X Series champion, as Benny Watson unfortunately did not have a trip to victory lane this season. He will not have the opportunity to defend the title he won back in Season 1. Thank you all again, as I said, for tuning in to tonight's race. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown you full finisher results, and now here come your point standings heading into next week. In 2 weeks, I should say, when we start the chase at Chicagoland. You will also see the official 12 drivers that will battle for the chase, and we will see you guys next time as you've been watching Production NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. The chase for the Pizza Hut X Series Championship is on.